Welcome back to Restaurant to Another World. And we review episode 14. This is reviewing episode number 22. Teriyaki Burger and Chocolate Parfait again. Yeah. Now, these two come from book 5. Yep. Both chapters that were adapted for this episode come from book 5, which I have not read yet. Comes from chapters 84 and 94. Yep, covering 2 straight chapters. Now, the first one is quite unique. It involves the guy who usually eats teriyaki chicken. I believe it's Tozumo, I believe his name is. Tasuguro. Yeah. He basically helps save 3 adventurers who usually eat hamburger steak. Yep. Well, at least the hamburgers, anyways. Yeah, these guys usually, eat hamburgers. Yep. So, they become adventurers since their last physical appearance in the series, which involve hamburgers. And they just happen to run into it just by sheer coincidence. And then the 4 just show up at the restaurant. They come together, and they first order teriyaki burger, which is the way to describe it. It's kind of like the way it seems like to me is that it seems very similar to the quarter pound deluxe, which that's what we have at my work, McDonald's. It's similar to that because there's lettuce in it and there's a little bit of mayo in it, but no ketchup or mustard, surprisingly. But and no cheese either. This is one thing I could think of possibly similar to. But this, I believe, is an American sandwich, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look at this. I believe it is. Chocolate Parfait, I know, kind of is. Let's see. Teriyaki burger, I believe this is an American meal. Oh, you actually get teriyaki burgers at Burger King. Interesting. Yeah. I personally have never tried these before, so there's that. I do appreciate this one mostly for, the sandwich is a pretty good looking sandwich. I probably wouldn't eat it because I don't like mayo. I mean, I would substitute for ketchup. Shockingly, yes, because I like ketchup and everything. Yep, it's a very okay piece, this one. But I think Toshiro, basically him, and of course they do explain, now when he saves the guys, he uses a sword, it's katana, which he reveals was actually enchanted with magic by an elf. Which, okay, that's interesting. Where you can cut through stuff, anything that's not from this world, which I thought was a really interesting idea, the fact he did. I mean, he didn't think I'd threaten anybody, surprisingly, so Kiro didn't have to take away the weapons like she did for another group of characters. And of course, after they have their burger, along with their french fries, which they call in the series Kugler Tobblers, sounds very good. This was good. And they just, would you like a teriyaki burger, but this time with a rice patty this time instead of basically bread. Okay. And they like it. And that's it. And of course, the guys couldn't exactly afford it, but the Toshiro basically is able to afford no problem for them. It's surprising though they haven't covered his debut yet, which is from chapter. I'm surprised they haven't covered his debut, kind of like his meal, teriyaki chicken. They haven't covered it yet, surprisingly, and yet we're getting close to the end of the season. I'm hoping they adapt at some point. I mean, they're getting pretty close to finishing up book 1, so shockingly enough. Now, the second story is quite unique. It's focused on a female demon lord, and I should point out, this second anime I come across where the demon lord is actually a pretty decent person. Unlike a lot of other time, usually demon lords you depicted, you just pick as the evil guy. He's like, ha ha ha, I would have ruined over everything. Usually it's like the main villain of a fantasy series. That's what he is a lot of the time. But this one, no. Demon Lord gets along really well. And Demon Lord's a woman. I'm like, that's interesting. It's only the second series I come across where Demon Lord is, in fact, a woman. Because this also happened in Combatants with Dispatched. The light novels, mind you. This happened actually, she did show up in the anime for one episode. Basically, the very last episode officially aired for the series. I still hope for season 2. But she becomes Demon Lord due to the fact the events of book 4 due to the events of book 3, actually book 5 of, was it book 5? No, book 4 out of light novel series, like a little over halfway through the most recent released novels. And because of that, she became Demon Lord because her father, because of what happened in the book, you have to watch my review of it. This one basically is like she's like not much confidence in herself. She's basically explaining her mother got like 4 wings, a tail that cut through metal. Very powerful woman. And became a retainer for the Empire, Du Wilhad. And then she goes to the private team probably to relax, and you see the door to the restaurant. She's wondering, oh, and of course she going to mention about how Lionel may make a better demon lord than she will, and just by sheer coincidence, Lionel just happens to be the Lion Gladiator who pops up occasionally throughout the whole series, ordering these particular bowls. And he apparently does know her. Probably they kind of know each other, probably professionally, of course. And she's kind of surprised to see her. And then she runs into Princess Adher, I think that's the pronounced name. She's the beautiful woman who, I believe it's Shahid, I believe his name is. No, it's Seraph. Yeah, it's Seraph. He's the one in love with her. Basically, the prince and princess coming from the land of sand. And the only reason why that in the case of the princess and how this demon lord know each other, probably due to the fact that she's actually friends with her with Princess Adra's father. But not mention the conversation about the grandfather, and of course they talk about, well, they ordered this thing called a mocha chocolate parfait. That's what pretty much they ordered for this thing. Mm-hmm. Which like, that's interesting. Which looks like basically a regular parfait, just with slightly different ice cream, and they find it to be delicious. And after that, they ordered this special coffee, which that was really neat. The fact that because they have a conversation, and of course he gets confidence enough, and that's how the thing ends. It's not like they go back with him basically just after leaving the door. Just the episode just ends right there, which I thought was kind of weird to say the least. It's a good episode. I'd say the second story is probably stronger than the first because we actually have a new character. Though this actually is the first one to actually feature characters we previously seen other stories pop up in this one and return. And of course, well, where he meets up with other characters he knew from the restaurants in the other world, in the fantasy world anyways, and it comes to restaurant together, which that was actually at first, which I do appreciate that. Yep. But yeah, not much to say about this episode. So yeah, that's it for Sick Review. Next one is Case Closed, which I might have to save it tomorrow at this point because it's almost 11 o'clock and I have to get early for church tomorrow. Yep. See you next video. Bye.